finally have an idea for an online course that you would like to launch, don't be like most people who would run to go record their course content without thinking about it first, right? So that's one big mistake many people do. And after they record their videos, they find out that they are now stuck and don't even know how to take that video to market to ensure that they successfully launch their online course. So in today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you 7 things I do when I have a course idea I would like to put out there, and I'll also share with you a bonus step that many people overlook. So before I share with you the 7 things that you should do when you have a course idea so that you don't get stuck, let's talk about some common mistakes that you can avoid, right? So number 1, like I already mentioned, is when you have the course idea, don't jump to recording the videos or creating the course. I know excitement will want to make you go create the course, especially something that you've never created a course on before. Don't do that, because you might end up creating something or building a curriculum that will not even serve the need of the people you are trying to sell it to, and so you start struggling to sell. Now, number 2, do not jump to selling. Yes, so you have a course idea. Don't just jump and say, oh guys, I want to create a course, come and start paying me, come and start buying the course. You don't have clarity of what the course is about. What are you selling to people? You will just find that you're just selling and talking, and nobody is interested, and you'll be like, okay, nobody's interested in my idea, let me just leave it there. It's not a viable idea. That's not true. And then the third thing is, do not work without a strategy. So you need a strategy in order to ensure that your idea makes sense and how you're going to go from that idea to launching that program successfully, right? So if you've made any of these mistakes or you're about to make them, so I'm going to be sharing with you now the 7 things that I do first when I have a course idea, and how you can get started with those 7 things as well to ensure that you go from ideation to launching a successful online course. So when you have a course idea, what's the first ideal thing that you should do? At least that's what I do anyway. And for the last 5 years, it's been working like really well. So number 1 is, I would say, start with clarity. So if you get an idea, let's say, oh, I have an idea to create a course teaching realtors how to close more deals. That's just an idea, right? So you need to have clarity. What is this idea really about? Okay? So I feel like doing something for realtors. I don't know, just teach them, and all of that. That's just the idea. So what is the idea really about? You need to identify. Then also you need to be clear on who you are going to serve. Yes, you said realtors, but also assess your knowledge level and your experience level. What kind of realtors do you want to teach this idea? Because there's some realtors already doing deals of 100 million, 10 million, or even 5 million, and they just need to know how to scale up those kind of deals. So you need to be very clear. Is it just beginner realtors or realtors that, have made quite a number of sales and they want to now upscale? You see, you're asking yourself these questions. Who am I doing it for? This idea, who is it for? What level of experience or skill do I have to teach this idea? So in what capacity will I be able to put this idea out there? Step number 2, the second thing that I do if I want to go from idea to launching a successful course is to validate. So validate your idea. And by validation, I mean that now you have clarity on the people you want to serve with this idea. You know exactly what the idea is about, and you're sort of clear. You need to go and find out from these people if they actually need the idea, or if what they are trying to even solve is how you've envisioned it in your head or in your mind. So you don't want to assume stuff and assume that, oh, based on what you have thought about, that's exactly how they want it. So validation helps you to understand how they want the solution to be given to them, what they really care about, So if you go out there, and it's not even, you don't even have to use any fancy tools. You can use simple Instagram stories if you already have realtors in your community, or you could go to a community where there is already realtors, do a free class and ask them questions, or you can speak to realtors, at least 10 to 20 of them or even more, or do a survey. Incentivize them, ask them questions. So why are you doing this? You're doing this because you might speak to a realtor and they'll be like, oh, I'm a beginner realtor, but yes, I struggle to close deals. But one of the things that the reason why I struggle to close this is because I'm shy. or I don't know how to talk to people. So when you find out that's one thing, another thing that they're struggling with, then you're able to now cover it in your course curriculum and your course content. That way you're able to serve the needs of your audience. But if you just say, okay, how to close this is what you have to do, that's what you have to do. There are different reasons why many people can't close sales. There are different reasons why many of them can't close deals, right? So that's why you need to go out there and validate. Also, another important reason why you need to validate your idea is that when you validate, you might not even find out that maybe they don't even need a course, they need a workshop. Or maybe they need a script to help them go and close deals. Or maybe they need a template. So, or a mixture of these things. That way you're able to now create something solid that when you are selling it, they will see that they need it, right? Because you want to make sure that the idea you're putting out, the audience you're putting it out for, know that or see that they need this idea, right? That's the purpose. And that's how you'll be able to sell your idea. It's not just about putting the idea out there or creating it, right? So after you've done your validation, now we'll move to step 3. So step number 3 of the steps you need to take when you want to go from the idea to launching your online course is to decide on your offer and create your offer. So based on the feedback you now have from your validation and the clarity you have, the next thing is, what is your offer going to be, right? What's that thing that you're going to create around the idea? How will you package the idea so that when people hear you talking about this course idea, they see it as something that they need, right? So that's where you create offers. So I'll give you an example. I saw a need where I saw that nobody really teaches sales funnels that well, like that much, or really talk about it in depth in this part of the world. By the way, I'm from Nigeria. So in this part of the world, they don't really talk about sales funnels that much. And I saw a lot of people that they wanted to learn. And most times when you want to learn sales funnels, you have to learn from people overseas. And even when you learn overseas, you don't know how to apply it in the Nigerian context or in the African markets, right? So I saw that there is this need, and I'm very well grounded in sales funnel, and I wanted to create a program teaching sales funnels. So number 1, I decided on the clarity, and then I validated. After doing my validation, I realized that people don't even need a course, because many of them have taken courses on sales funnels from different people, and they still don't even get it, right? They still don't get the concept, and it's still very difficult for them to even apply anything that they've learned. And so that validation and that feedback helped me craft an offer where I now created a 10-week retreat where every week we learn, I give them assessment, and also it's 2 hours every week. So you don't have to put all your day or all your time, and it's not a self-paced course. I guide you and all of that. And so people find it like really interesting, and that's an offer around that. So I created an offer around it. And then also, because I know what it takes or what goes into doing that retreat, and it's not just an online course, the price point was not, for an average Nigerian, the price point was quite high. So I saw that people may struggle to pay all the fee at once. So I created a payment plan where you can pay in installments. So it's a 10 weeks program. You can pay in installments over the period of that 10 weeks. And so it enables them to pay what they have and then pay over a period of time. So that was the offer, and it was quite enticing, and people were able to key into that. So that's where your offer come in. Now, step 4 is where you now decide on your delivery. So the offer ties into the delivery. How do you want to deliver it? I've already said that as well. All of this also comes from your validation step. So if you're able to properly get the right information during validation, you'll be able to know how you're going to deliver your program or your course, or exactly what you need to do in order for it to entice your audience. And then you create your messaging. That's also part of step 4. How will you deliver it? And then create your messaging. Your messaging around, okay, so what am I going to be communicating that these people will hear and they will feel like this is for them, right? So when I put out that program, what I was hammering on was AI is not going to take your job if you know how to leverage AI. And this is one skill and one job that AI cannot take away from you, because it is beyond just writing copies or doing social media management. There's a lot of things that goes into sales funnel strategy. So that was my message. So you need to be able to be very clear on your message. And then from there, we now move to step 5. All right. So what is step 5? Step 5 is where most people jump to when they're trying to launch their idea. But you see, now that's on this 5th step. Step 5 is where you market, and then you start promoting your idea, because now you have clarity, you have validated, you've decided on your offer and your message, and you know how you're going to deliver it, right? And step 5 is where you market. So under marketing, you are thinking about, working on your course outline and curriculum. So what is your curriculum going to be about? And then also, how will you get traffic? What channels are you going to use to reach out to these people? Are you going to use Instagram ads, Instagram content? Are you going to use influencers? Are you going to use WhatsApp? Are you going to do a webinar and sell them, give them a freebie to put them into your email list or WhatsApp list? What exactly are you going to be doing in terms of the marketing? And that's where you start promoting your idea or your course idea, right? At this point, you can also start working on creating the course content, the course curriculum while you are marketing at the same time. So using the same example of the program that I launched, so after I decided on, everything, I mapped out what channels am I going to use to do the promotion. One of them was Instagram. And then also I decided I was going to do a webinar to bring people in, because this is something that they've already paid other people to learn from before, and they didn't get the result they were looking for. So I need to do a webinar to show them that I know what the hell I'm talking about, and what I'm going to be promising them is something that they will really get, and they are going to get the result that they are looking for, right? So I added the webinar, and then I created my timeline. Usually I used to recommend 10 weeks timeline where you're trying to market and promote, so that you have enough time for people to save up, for people to make decisions and to join your course. So I mapped out the 10 weeks. And then also I had to now write out what I'm going to be doing at each point of the 10 weeks. So I have a detailed video on how to create a 8 weeks launch plan. So you can find the video here. You can go watch it and see how I break down the timeline. So because that's another conversation on its own. So I break down my timeline: week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4. What kind of content am I going to be doing? When will my ads go live? When will I do my webinar? Will I go live on IG? So all of those things are the things you're now going to plan out in a period of 10 weeks or at least 30 days, so that more people can see it and they can make decision and decide to want to work with you or buy your program. You need to understand that people are not keeping their money waiting for you to create a program, right? So you need to give them time to put that into their plans and make money. So if you're doing 10 weeks, for example, the first 3 weeks can be for awareness, where you start creating interest and getting them ready to prepare their money to pay you, right? And then the next 3 to 4, 5 weeks is when you're not asking them to pay you. You put them into your webinar funnel or your lead generation funnel, and then you run your ads and do all of those things. Okay, so step 6 is to know your numbers. One thing that many people do not know when it comes to launching a course is they don't know their numbers. They don't know what they're looking for. And so you just keep promoting and promoting, and you don't even know what you're tracking, right? So you need to know your numbers when you are launching your online course. So now you have your marketing plan, you have your launch plan and all of that, all written down and broken down. You need to now understand your number. So how many people are you looking to buy this course? So let's say you need 20 people to buy your course. And so if you're just launching the course for the first time, I would recommend working with a 5 to 10% conversion rate. So if you're working with a 10% conversion rate and you want 20 people to buy your course, that means you need at least 200 leads, 200 people to show interest in your freebie, so that you can convert 10% of those people, which is 20 people, to buy your course. That's a very simple math, right? Now, step number 7 is to build and promote. Now you know your numbers, you have your budget. Create your budget as well. Before I jump into the last one, budgeting is like budget 10% of the total amount you want to make. So let's say you want to make 300,000, you should put at least 30,000 naira in your marketing budget to use to market that. Yeah, I think 10% of 300,000 is 30,000 naira, I believe. Yeah. So finally, you build and promote. So build and promotion is now when you go all out, you start following your launch plan and your launch timeline, trying to get people in to hit your numbers, to make sure that you're following your launch plan. Okay, so a bonus point that I'm going to be giving to you guys is to review and to refine, right? So many people put out their launch, and after they finish launching, they don't review it and they don't refine their strategies. So reviewing and refine is where you look at your numbers. Did you hit your goals? Did you do everything you say you were going to do? How many people got in? So you're going to determine what worked, what didn't work, what could you have done better, what couldn't you have done, or so that in your next launch or the next time you want to put out something, you would know exactly what you are up against. You will know exactly what you can do better in case you want to launch again in the future, and you'll be able to tell whether you hit your goals or not, right? And you're able to measure whatever thing. I always say that whatever you don't track, you cannot measure, right? And so that's it. So that's 7 steps plus a bonus point on how you can go from ideation to launching a successful online course. And you see that it doesn't have to be overwhelming. And by the time you follow all of these steps, you'll be able to not just launch your course, but also ensure that you have a successful launch, okay? So if you want me to look over your launch, you want me to look at your processes, you can book a one-on-one call with me, or you can go get my course launch blueprint to help you understand all of the phases of launching online courses with my BPLP framework that I share with my clients, with my students, and as well that I use for my own courses as well. So if you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comments, like this video, share it, and do not forget to subscribe to the channel. I'll see you again in the next one. Bye.